in Philly and Detroit on Wednesday and Thursday. The 30th, they head to Boston and wrap up the 7-game road trip against the Hawks on February 1st. 17 points, 11 boards for LeBron. He's speaking with Mike in the media.
Like, how do you actually create that knowledge in the half court for guys to have enough time to execute it? How does that play into it?
Well, I study the teams. I prepare for the teams every day, leading up to the game, and watched film on them yesterday. I watched their game yesterday that they had versus Charlotte. Then I watched a lot of film this morning and just try to get, accustomed to a lot of the sets that they run so I can keep my guys prepared, keep them a little bit ahead of the play. Just being very knowledgeable about, some of the sets that they like to run, some of the ATOs, some of the things they like to run the half court, things of that nature, just to have my guys keeping their head on the swivel and not get surprised by anything.
Yeah, the defense speaks for itself with the points allowed in the first half. Offensively, it was a different profile from the Bucks game, threes and paint points. How much of that is what the defense is given? How much of that is a focus from the way you're playing? Every
game has its own challenges, and every game is its own. You got to win that game. So, tonight was an opportunity for us to get better. And AD came out from the start, being a hometown kid, him and Taylor, it was our job to help them get the ball to them and let them make plays in AD, and they both did that.
Bill?
Hey, LeBron. Tuesday will be a year since the accident, and I'm wondering, you were in a really tough spot as the leader of this team going through that, and kind of the face of the organization going through that. I'm wondering how you feel like going through that as the leader of this team changed your relationship with the city of Los Angeles and with the organization.
I try not to put myself back in that headspace because it was just too dark for not only myself but for organization and for everyone that's involved in it. As the leader of the ball club, it was my job and my responsibility to take it all on, and represent our team with the most strength that I could, prosper at that point in time for the purple and gold for Laker Nation. It was my job to take that responsibility. And I wanted to let everyone know inside this organization that I was okay with doing that, that's all I can say about that.
Dave?
LeBron, Anthony called himself out after the last game you guys had, even though you won. He said he wasn't playing well as of late. I'm curious, is that part of the accountability that you guys speak about as what you want to have in that locker room, him acknowledging that he wants more from him? And did you put your arm around a guy like that? Do you try to help him going through whatever the funk he claims it to be?
Absolutely, both. Sometimes you allow a guy to kind of, go through it and figure it out for themselves, but also at the same time, let him know that we're here for him. And me as the leader of the squad and me as his brother, let him know whatever he needs from me, I can do. And it started with us, getting on the ball early and often, tonight, and and it's just right back on track.
Kyle?
Hey, LeBron, one of the common threads between you and Kobe is how much you both love Michael Jordan. And I'm wondering, as when Kobe was coming up, he was very famous for kind of replicating Mike and doing those moves. As either a teenager or a young guy in the league, was that something that you sort of had an appreciation for and gave you any kind of respect factor for Kobe?
I only looked at Kobe for him. Obviously you've seen a lot of the similarities between, him and Mike, but I appreciate Kobe's game for Kobe's game. The way he played the game, the finesse that he played with, the ball handling, the capabilities, the shooting, everything that he possessed on the floor. I respected him for who he was as a player, and what he was able to bring out on the floor. The fact that he was able to, take some things from MJ and look at some of MJ's DNA and actually be able to do it. A lot of people try to do that. A lot of people wish they can take things from some of the greats and implement it into their game and then become successful. They just can't. They don't have the ability to do it, or they don't have the drive to do it. They don't have the mindset to do it, but he actually did it. and did it at a high level for a long time. And you can respect that.
Last question, Dan.
LeBron, I appreciate you and your willingness to talk a little bit about some of this stuff. You guys talk about Kobe. You do it when you break huddles. You did it last year when you wore the Mamba jerseys. You guys have celebrated him in the year. How did that help the grieving process, and why is it important to continue to do that as a team?
Man, it's a saying that says time heals all. And as devastating and as tragic as it was and it still is to all of us involved with it, only time, and it takes time. Everyone has their own grieving process. Everyone understands how, everyone individually is different, and everyone is going to, grieve differently, and how long it takes them to come to grips with it, that's up to them and that individual. All you can do as a friend or a loved one or anyone, and our brotherhood and our familyhood that we have here with the Lakers organization is to put an arm around someone when they need it. So, us being able to remember him and, wear the jerseys during the postseason, have the postseason success we had, like, as you guys saw with those uniforms, or, we got a lot of guys that wear shoes still to this day, obviously. I'm able to wear the 2-4 on my finger every night. And then when we play in Staples Center, you see that 8-2-4 in the rafters and be able to just live his legacy on, It's a lot of things that die in this world, but legends never die, and he's exactly that. So it's all about representing that.
Appreciate you, LeBron. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this. LeBron with 17 points and some nice throwdown dunks. Lakers remain undefeated on the road this season. We'll be right back.